finals beta has recently ended, however the game will likely be releasing soon in December 2023. The finals has been one of the most hyped FPS games in recent months, and that has certainly reflected in the absolutely massive number of people who played the finals open beta. You can see in the Steam charts for the open beta that the game peaked at more than 250,000 players, and there's a good reason for this success, considering the reputation of the developers. Embark Studio, although being an indie developer, has a core of ex-DICE devs. So if you felt the influence of a certain gaming franchise while playing the open beta, well, now you know why. The simplest way I can explain the game would be an arena extraction shooter. 4 teams compete to extract the most amount of money in the allotted time. The team who extracts the most money will be put forward into the next round of the tournament.
An exhilarating match, but now our game is over!
Until 2 final teams compete in, you guessed it, the finals, to see who will win the tournament.
All out of time! Unbelievable determination from the competitors! It's lights out in the arena just as the spotlight swings to our winners, the Tough Shells. From all of us here at the finals, thanks for watching.
So now you know more about the game, let's get into my So the gunplay in the finals I would say is very similar to Apex Legends, where the game has an extended time to kill, much longer than let's say Call of Duty or Battlefield. And while there have been some critiques of this longer TTK, my opinion is that it increases the skill ceiling, as more skilled players can make comebacks even if they didn't get the first shot off. Now another characteristic of the gunplay is the extremely high recoil, especially for the automatic weapons. And I actually think this is somewhat of a good thing, as it pushes close quarters combat and forces players together to push the objective. However, one thing that absolutely sucks about this game is that the scopes cannot be changed on a gun. So whatever the scope is at default, that's what you get. For example, the AK has no scope, just iron sights, whereas the SMG and the SCAR has a scope. Embark, you really need to change this. This is a basic feature that is seen in every other FPS game. And I could kind of understand if they've done this for balance reasons, but I still think this is a bad decision overall. Now, while individual gun skill matters, playing the objective and playing as a team is core to winning in the game. You can be the sweatiest player with the most kills in the lobby, but it only takes a few seconds for the enemy team to swipe the objective and win the game.
Swiper, no swiping!
Oh shit, here we go again.
So make sure you PTFO. However, the melee definitely needs some work. I can already foresee the melee only players, especially the light builds that can go invisible or even teleport, getting very annoying. But maybe it's just a skill issue on my part. But hopefully they can nerf or at least balance the melee players a little bit more. There is a lot of destruction in this game, and I mean a lot of destruction. And it kinda reminds me of a certain DICE game. Destruction is a key mechanic that can be used in creative ways to either attack or defend an objective. Overall, the destruction is pretty well implemented, and it's refreshing to see this feature in a modern FPS game, as most modern titles have pretty static maps. I'm looking at you, Battlefield. There are 3 classes in the game: light, medium, and heavy.
Good stuff!
The light build is very focused on movement, with abilities like dashing, a grappling hook, or even going invisible. Means that if you want to be an aggressive player, then this build is certainly for you. Then you have the medium build, which is much more versatile. You can focus on movement with zip lines and jump pads, or be a medic with a healing beam and defibrillators, or even focus on dealing damage with turrets and gas mines. So whatever your playstyle, the medium build can probably fit it. Finally, you have the heavy build, and predictably this is the most tanky build, the most health, and can pack a punch with an RPG
Opening Vault 3.
or flamethrower. Not to mention their defensive capabilities, with their bubble domes, shields, and defensive barriers. Overall, I would say that the classes are well balanced, and with the right team, their abilities and playstyles can complement each other well. The movement in the finals isn't exactly smooth. I found that the grapple hooks and jump pads were quite glitchy. The movement isn't bad overall, but it could certainly do with some extra polishing. There were 3 maps in the open beta: Monaco, Seoul, and a third new map, Skyway Stadium. The maps have a lot of verticality, and all maps have a dynamic day-night cycle and dynamic weather, which can really change the vibe and visibility on the map. And that's cool and all, but there's still only 3 maps. Hopefully Embark can increase the number of maps for the full release. During my time playing the open beta, I only had 1 crash, which I think, considering that this is still in beta, is pretty reasonable. Other than that, it was pretty smooth, running at around 120 FPS on ultra settings, with some minor stuttering here and there, but nothing major. Keep in mind, I got this performance with a relatively decent PC, with a 3070 Ti and an i7 12700K, and if you want more details on my build, you can check the full specs in the description. The cosmetics are pretty dope in this game, and extremely customizable, so you can definitely get drippy in the finals. Not to mention that the cosmetics are pretty affordable too, so it doesn't take you a century of grinding just to buy a single skin. But let's hope they don't increase the prices at launch. Embark, please don't fall back to the old mistakes of DICE and EA. I was playing the finals on PC with a PS4 controller, and unfortunately the controller support, at least on PC, kinda sucks. I tried to use Steam Big Picture mode, which usually works with all of my other games. However, I could only get it to work by directly connecting my controller via USB. But with this method, I couldn't remap buttons or adjust other basic controller settings, which is really weird considering the game is on consoles, so you would expect controller support to be there natively. Embark, step your game up. Let me know in the comments if any of you got your controller to work properly on PC. I had a ton of fun playing the finals, and when the beta ended, I was left wanting to play more. And when a game leaves you with this type of impression, it can only spell good things for the future of this game. As long as the devs make improvements and release more content on launch, especially maps and guns, I think the finals will have a very bright future. Overall, I would give the finals a score of a 7 out of 10. But that's all I have for this video. If you guys have enjoyed, like, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys think of the finals. Do you agree with my score, and will you be playing the game when it releases? Alright guys, that's it for the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.